Hello everyone, welcome to episode 18 of the Nakazuki Knits podcast. My name is Katie and I'd like to welcome any new viewers and welcome any returning viewers as well. You guys are the reason I'm recording this podcast. New or returning. Today is Saturday, November 14th, 2015, and we're just actually in the I'm done show season completely for this year. So this podcast today will be a little bit of knitting, not much because now I'm into Christmas knitting. And the people I'm making gifts for do watch the podcast. And then most of this show will be regarding the fiber stash and stash enhancement in general from the Calgary Fiber Arts Fair, as well as the shop update news and the new prints that I'll be adding in tomorrow, actually November 15th at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is 8 p.m. Eastern or 5 p.m. Pacific Time. I tried to make it like a little bit earlier so that it wasn't super late for everybody on the East Coast and wasn't too early for everybody else, and at least it's a Sunday, so anyway, welcome. So as I said, I'm knitting Christmas gifts. I am knitting a couple things though that I can show you. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Now, I am knitting the wingspan currently. And I am currently working on the fourth point, I guess. And I'm knitting this out of Schoppelwool Zauberball. In the Tube colorway, I think. It looks like watermelons though, honestly, and if you look at all the finished objects, they look like watermelons. And I'm definitely, this is going to need a really aggressive blocking, because apparently my turns are not that tidy, but honestly, it differentiates my wedges. Although looking at that now, I almost should have done like a yarn over increase row there. Or like a yarn over row just to kind of break it up, but whatever. And obviously I still have quite a bit left. So that's a Zauberball. And apparently I started on the green end, so everything is green. So that's one thing, and I cast that on just before Calgary Fiber Arts Fair. And then the other thing I'm making is I wanted to do a mini sock garland, because I've got tons of leftover sock yarn, of course, and the debate is always, what do you do with it? You don't want to throw it out and all that. And I know a bunch of people are doing like memory blankets and sock yarn scrap blankets and everything like that, but honestly I've knitted so many blankets in the past few years, and worsted weight blankets no less, and I'm done with blankets for a bit unless I'm making something for myself. Which the sock yarn scrap blanket would be, but I really don't want to commit that kind of like time. I've already got enough in progress works where like long-term in progress works. So what I decided to do was mini socks. So mini sock garland. So this is actually the second one. And I'm actually using DPNs. I have not used DPNs in years. Quite a while. I have been using Magic Loop exclusively for a while actually. So it's itty bitty. It's a 32 stitch cast on. The pattern is called Mini Socks. It's free on Ravelry, and it's by Prairie Willow Knits, and I will link it in the show notes on Ravelry as well. This is actually out of Penguin Soup Yarn, Penguin Soup Knits? Penguin Soup Yarns? Penguin Soup. Fresh from the cauldron. I should have grabbed her card. They're out in the kitchen. And I made an order with her recently for yarn for Christmas socks. I can't actually show it to you, although I will say that it is fantastic, and I'm pretty sure that this is the same base, just itty bitty mini skeins, so it's perfect. So I just got to experiment with them, and now after these ones I'm going to take actual yarn that I've used for socks to make socks. So I'm working on one, and then I finished one as well. So, and I'm sorry, I don't know the color names of either of these. I will try and track them down and put them in the show notes. But super fast. This just took an evening. I'm just going to do a set of them. Maybe 12 this year. Who knows? It's something I can add to as I go. So that's I count that as an FO, whatever. I can put one somewhere, right? And then I did finish the design socks. Now, I haven't woven in any of the ends, so bear with me. Grab one that has a few lesser ends. And so these are them. And I'm going to be putting up the pattern for test after we come back from Florida, which will be in mid-December. And these are going to be sized up to a men's, I think Dallas's feet are a size 11. It's a 72 stitch count, but the nice thing about this design is it's just textural and it's really easy to put on whatever you have. Actually, I might write these up and put them up before, no, because I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks. Anyway, they're also going to be called Ridged for Your Pleasure. Because I figured it's a little bit of a detail in otherwise really long slogs of socks. And other innuendos as you will take them if you wish. So really that's all I've been working on. So for all of you here for the knitting, I'm really sorry, or spinning. I haven't done any spinning and I haven't done any more knitting. Or at least nothing I can show you. I've got stuff done, like hose, like half-finished objects, but you'll have to wait until after Christmas for those. Sorry. That's going to kind of be the tune of this story for the next month or so. So from there, it's actually into Calgary Fiber Arts Fair. And also I cleaned my room because I'm post-show season now, so I can't actually do that. So I'm going to talk about CFAF. Calgary Fiber Arts Fair, and then I'm going to talk about enabling that I got from Calgary Fiber Arts Fair, and then I'm going to talk about the shop update happening tomorrow. So stick around as long as you'd like. So Calgary Fiber Arts Fair was fantastic again this year. Sonia does a really good job organizing this event. We had really high quality vendors, and the energy from the customers themselves and the class attendees and all of them was really good too. I will say that it was a very successful show, and I do thank everyone who came by and purchased a bag or came and chatted even. It means a lot to me that you take the time to do that, and yeah, I'm really happy that you seem to all be enjoying it, which is amazing. These events are really hard to put together. They're very expensive to put together, and I know that Sonia really appreciates the support as well. And I really appreciate the support as a vendor too. So I know that plans are already rolling out for Calgary Fiber Arts Fair 2016, and I will definitely be a vendor there again. And we would love to hear that people are coming in, and I know I just talked with her today, and she's just trying to sort out all the details for it for next year already, which is awesome. And I'm super excited to be part of it again. So I think the trend next year will be, I'm definitely doing Knit City and Calgary Fiber Arts Fair again, and there's a couple other shows I have my eye on, and I will let you know if I'm accepted as a vendor as we go. So yeah, that's really it. And so as part of the fantastic enabling, I got some buttons from Chasing Fire Ceramics, and Kara's really fantastic. Look at those buttons, like they're amazing. And these will actually, I'm gonna probably put these onto a project that I have in mind with yarn that I got at the show. And I'm just trying to see if I can get her card out so that you can actually see, maybe, come on, without destroying it. So there's her information right there, chasingfirestudio.com or chasingfireceramics.etsy.com. What does it say? Hand wash to prevent chipping, and they're lead free. So I don't know what I'm going to do with these yet. But like I said, I already know what I'm going to do with the heart buttons. I think these might go onto like a cardigan, like a nice, oh, they could go on the sleeves of a cardigan. Ooh, like a nice, just like gray, and have that the accent piece. That might happen. So that was the one, like, I had to get those rainbow heart buttons. Like, there's no question. If I walked out of that show with nothing else, which of course I didn't, but if that was the only thing I got, I would be happy. And then right across from me was the Alberta Yarn Project. And I love their bags. They're so cool. So it's the Crafting Collective. And basically they collect hand-dyed, hand-milled, and hand-spun yarns from Alberta. And look at these. They're so awesome. So this, I've never had roll eggs before, so I'm super excited to spin them. They're called Black Rainbow, and they're 100% wool. They're 1.2 ounces or 34 grams. And they are by, so this was the cool thing about the Alberta Yarn Project, is they're all by different people. Well, pretty much. There's like sections by different people. So these ones were by Nomad Fiberworks. And so it's nomadfiberworks.com or etsy.com/shop/nomadfiberworks. And you can also find her on Facebook. All of her information is down in the corner there. And Alison Findlay. So cool. And they're so soft. Like, oh, I can't wait. And so that leads me into my big purchase there, because I wasn't actually planning on this, but it was such a good deal. So the deal included this. So that tells you that I got a supported spindle. That's the logical conclusion of that book, right? So it's Maple and Acacia. It's by Danware. And basically the super cool thing about this is it included, well, I got the set. So you can't just purchase the supported spindles by themselves. But I got a set with a, like a tree. And then a bowl as well. And so this is the really cool thing, is you unscrew the top of this. And then you can screw the bowl in here. So if you prefer spinning with the bowl, but want the extra height, you can use the stand. Now, I will blame my friend. She actually is the one that enabled me with this, because I was not planning on purchasing it. But she came by and she's like, this was a fantastic set and a fantastic deal, which it was. And I couldn't say no. That's pretty much how it went. I went over and he's very knowledgeable. It's an older gentleman who does all of the hand carving and everything like that. So absolutely, like, so super cool. And then I got a braid of Falkland, 4-ounce braid of Falkland with called Subtle Advances from the Wacky Windmill. And it's this gorgeous teal and grays kind of tonal colors. And then and I also got a set of Hiya needles from her that I'm testing out right now on Christmas knitting. And then right beside me was Sea Turtle Fiber Arts. And this is, what is it called? It is a Twilight Sparkle Sock Blank. And, oh my goodness, look at that sparkle. Yeah. This is 84% merino, 16% stellina. Like, normally you can't see sparkle on the screen like that, but my goodness, it's so sparkly. And then finally, I got something really super exciting that I think you guys will love too. Ancient Arts Yarns was very generous and actually donated 2 review skeins to the podcast. So what ended up happening was I went over and I spoke to Caroline, and she's the dyer at Ancient Arts Yarns. And if you don't know about Ancient Arts Yarns, they do a lot of charity work for Meow Foundation in Calgary, and they donate to, they do a Meow collection of yarn, and they donate proceeds from that yarn to cat shelters. And they have recently also started a wolf collection. Wolf collection, which is dog-inspired fibers. And they're very prominent in the Calgary yarn dyeing community now too. And they are also the main sponsors actually for Knit City when I was out there. So that was really cool. Her business has grown a lot, which is really awesome for her in Calgary here. Anyway, she donated 2 skeins. And they're both gorgeous. So I'll talk about this one first. Because this is the one I'll be knitting up first. This is where I think the heart buttons are gonna go. Yeah. Anyway, this is called Big Squeeze. They introduced this yarn at Calgary Fiber Arts Fair, which is really awesome. It is 100% superwash merino. It's a bulky yarn with 120 meters or 132 yards. The yarn is made in Italy, but it's dyed in Canada, obviously, in Calgary. And this color is Kitten Nose Pink. And the twist, and that's actually pretty accurate color. The twist in this is fantastic, and I cannot wait to knit this, and it's so squishy. Like, squishy. I highly recommend their products if you haven't used them before. I used their light fingering BFL in the color affection I knit earlier this year. And yeah, like, it's fantastic to work with. Then the other one, the blue one, this is Lapis Lazuli. And this is an 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. It's an 8-ply cable, heavy fingering to a sport. Now, this, Caroline was saying, has a bunch of different applications. Hats, mittens, shawl. It's very round. As you would expect an 8-ply cable to be. Especially in this weight. And the really cool thing about this is it's New Zealand merino. Yes, New Zealand merino, sorry. That is actually spun in Quebec. Milled and spun in Quebec. And then Caroline dyes it here in Calgary. And just like, look at those colors. And yeah, that's pretty accurate too. So yeah, so this will be a little bit longer. I'm thinking this needs to become a shawl because it'll look really good against me. I'm definitely leaning towards using some of their yarns for a color work project I have in the plans later in the year too. So, well, next year. Right now I'm going to do this update and then it's a few days off from, or well, a few weeks anyway. I have an actual vacation planned. So, yeah. I will record before that though, because my vacation is actually December 1st to December 13th. So yeah, that's everything I got there. I actually behaved myself really well. Considering that all I've done pretty much all of October, since like early October to the beginning of November, has been going to wool shows, I had to be well behaved. So thank you for supporting Nekozuki Knits so I can go do these things. But like, seriously. I really do appreciate it, and it does allow me to go to these shows and support other makers as well. And honestly, I couldn't have gone to Knit City and then Rhinebeck and then Calgary and not support local makers to me either, because that's kind of counterintuitive. And Dallas doesn't mind, so it's, yeah. Although now I am on a self-imposed yarn diet until I use some of this up, because I've got so much pretty stuff that I need to use. So yeah, actually I am. I was going to like put conditions on that, but the only condition on that is if I go to someplace new, or like, okay, I can purchase yarn at yarn shops I travel to. So if we go out to Victoria, or like I end up getting out to a yarn store in Florida, then yeah, that's fine. But in general, I'm on a yarn diet. Thankfully, I am through show season, so like I'm not going to any big shows where I'll be tempted. Anyway, that is the major section of the show, and if you are here to stick around for like just the chatter about Calgary Fiber Arts Fair and the enabling, then this is the end of that. From now on, it's actually all shop news. So if you don't want to stick around for that, I will see you all in a couple weeks. I will be back on a regular schedule. So we'll be recording every 2 weeks for the next couple weeks. And then I I won't be recording when we're down south on vacation December 1st to 13th. So I will record probably... Well, okay, I'll record on the 14th because I'm pretty sure that's the podiversary. Or 14th, 15th, somewhere in there. And there's going to be a couple things that I'm going to do for that as well. So keep your eyes open on the Ravelry board, and if you don't want to stick around for shop news, I'll chat with you all in a couple weeks. Bye! And if you're sticking around for shop news, well, I've got excellent news for you. It's all right here beside me. So what I added for Calgary Fiber Arts Fair were mostly Christmas prints and a few Japanese inspired prints. All of these are only wedge bags. However, I do have enough fabric for most of these to do box bags. So if you see anything that you like but don't like the wedge bag, let me know and we can set up a custom order for box bags. Otherwise, these fabrics will not be in box bags until January or February, at which point, like, lots of them are mostly just Christmas, so, or winter in general, not like specifically like, I'm a Christmas bag. So they do have that benefit. There's a couple that are like that way, but not very many. So yeah, just let me know if there's anything that you would like for a special order, which I can accommodate before December 1st. The cutoff for custom orders would end up being November 27th. Anyway, pre-mades that can be shipped out right away. Cardinals. So this is in a large wedge bag, and there are only 2 large wedge bags at this point. This will be offered in small wedge, large box, and small box after the holidays. Cardinals. This fabric, which I'm not quite sure what to call it, but it's nice and active. We'll put it that way. It's not really busy, it's just active. It's technically Christmas fabric, but honestly, I think this would be a good, like, it's a good holiday fabric. It's kind of elegant and rich. There we go, that's the word I'm going for. And so I really like it. It's got gold accents. So nice. Not super sparkly, just kind of a sheen. This is one of the Japanese inspired ones. And quantities will be listed in the Etsy shop when they actually get posted. Stitch. Or, as he should be known, Experiment 626. Genetic experiment gone bad. This is Japanese fabric. It's a little bit heavier weight, a little bit heavier cotton. Sparkly cats. I can't remember if I showed this one to you or not, so I apologize if I showed this to you before Knit City. I don't think I did. This is a very specific Christmas one. Christmas trees. Although, to be honest, I was looking at it the other day and I was like, that looks like slices of pepperoni pizza. So they're pizza Christmas trees. Another Japanese inspired one. That is really washed. There we go. Okay, it's kind of taupey. And it's got all the blue peonies on the back. Pumpkins. For the last little bit of Halloween celebration. These are also very Mardi Gras colors. Another Japanese inspired one. Blue sakura. Or cherry blossoms. I really like this motif in here. As you can see, it's like this massive motif and made up of all cherry blossoms as well. Super cool. Another very specific Christmas one. This is also going to be available in large wedges. Reindeers. And actually, yeah, that is the better side. So one side has more reindeer up, one side has more reindeer down. Similar to the white one, this is the black version of that rich print. This one's also really cool because it's actually got green and blue and gold in there. So again, very active. I don't know which one I like better. I almost like the black better. But there'll be 2 large wedge of that. Large reindeer wedge. And that's got an aqua tab. And then there's a large reindeer wedge with a red and white stripey tab. Small wedge of the white rich pattern. And yes, all these tags will still be on there. Let me know if you want them off, because then I'll write out the care instructions for you separately. Like if you want me to prep it for gift wrap, so you just have to wrap the box or something. Small wedge of the black rich print. Small blue peonies. Small cardinals. There's only going to be the 2 small bags of this, because I was only able to get a certain amount of fabric. But I think it's a nice subtle like winter theme more than just Christmas. At least in my own head, this is how I'm justifying it. There's going to be a Stitch or Experiment 626 wedges. Small wedges. And then there are small wedges of the Japanese blue sakura. And then I really like this print. It's plaid with gold. Again, just a nice sheen. It's not super sparkly, but there will be small wedge of that. And I think most of those, yeah, 2 of them will have red zippers, 1 of them will have a black zipper with the small wedge. And then both large wedges will have a red zipper. But there's like a blue, it's a very nice tartan too. It's not like super overbearing plaody tartan. And then finally, horses and wreaths. I'm so excited about these ones. So these are 2 large wedge as well, and red zippers, red tabs. Anyway, so that's all I have that's new. Trust me, there's lots going up into the shop. A lot of the prints that I took to Knit City I still have stock of in some form or another. If you're at Knit City or Calgary Five Arts Fair and don't see a fabric listed that you're like, I want it though, message me and find out if I still have fabric left. It might be that I just haven't gotten around to sewing it in between the 2 shows, considering how busy I was in October. And yeah, let me know. And if I can set up any special orders for any of those fabrics that I just showed you, let me know to contact me and make sure I have the fabric in stock, obviously. Because a couple of those have run out, some of them have some left over, and I just don't know off the top of my head, unfortunately. But yeah, watch for the update tomorrow, November 15th at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is 8 p.m. Eastern Time and 5 p.m. Pacific Time. And thank you so much for your continued support. I hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend, and I'll chat with you in a couple weeks. Bye!